The U.S. says ISIS did it. ISIS was responsible for the deadly Moscow concert hall attack. And how did the United States know that ISIS did it? ISIS released a press release claiming that they did it. So there you have it. ISIS said, we did it. And who's ISIS? We don't know, do we? It's just a mysterious group, a name that takes responsibility for terrorist attacks. But immediately the United States began on Saturday to move the attention of the world away from Ukraine and place it on the mysterious group ISIS. Now, I want you to recall that just a few weeks ago, the U.S. State Department issued a travel alert to Americans in Russia, advising them to avoid large gatherings, especially concerts, theaters. It says the embassy is monitoring reports that extremists have imminent plans to target large gatherings in Moscow, including concerts. And U.S. citizens should be advised to avoid large gatherings over the next 48 hours. Amazing, isn't it? How the U.S. State Department knew that there was going to be a terrorist attack, and then they immediately knew it was ISIS. I don't think the world is buying it. I have to remind you that just a few months ago, Victoria Nuland was in Kiev, Ukraine. She had a little press conference out in the streets at night by herself and a few reporters. She couldn't contain the glee, the little grin on her face as she announced Mr. Putin was going to have some surprises on the battlefield this year. If you never saw that video, I'll play it for you again to let you see what she said.
I have to say that I leave Kyiv tonight more encouraged about the unity and the resolve about 2024 and its absolute strategic importance for Ukraine. I also leave more confident that even as Ukraine strengthens its defenses, Mr. Putin's going to get some nice surprises on the battlefield, and that Ukraine will make some very strong success this year.
Now, mind you, this is the same woman who a year before the Nord Stream pipelines were blown up, she also said something like, I can tell you, those pipelines are not going to work. They're not going to operate. She knew in advance that the Nord Stream pipelines were going to be destroyed.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
She knew in that night in Kiev that there would be surprises for Putin. So my question is, was the terrorist attack one of the surprises that Victoria Nuland knew was coming from Ukraine?